Dad, move your hair.
In our mysterious and unexplored world, many travelers have experienced incredibly weird creatures, creepy sightings, unbelievable phenomena, and shocking encounters. Let's then take a look at the strangest things captured by passengers that no one would have seen otherwise. Cube-shaped UFO. In February 2018, the passengers of Airbus A320 discovered they were not alone in the sky, as there was something else who was sharing the friendly skies at an altitude of 30,000 feet. One of the passengers then pointed his camera phone out of the window and watched as he zoomed in. It was not a balloon or drone, and without any visible propulsion means, it was flying alongside the plane at an approximate distance of some 30 feet. The metallic-looking object swam by in a straight line, and when zoomed in further, the cube-shaped object of dark color was more clear. It was estimated to be 10 to 15 feet in diameter. After this unidentified mysterious object was spotted, scientists were claiming that it might be a visit from another civilization, but they're not sure what it could possibly be. Mysterious walking figure. This image, captured at 30,000 feet in January 2016, sent a spine-chilling wave among internet users. A passenger was enjoying his flight from Austria to London while looking out the window, when suddenly he noticed a strange figure walking on the cloud with a mysterious shadow behind it. He quickly grabbed his camera to capture the weird incident that had been in view for about 2 minutes. A robot, iron giant, and a cloud monster. Netizens came up with crazy titles just after the footage went viral. It was also claimed by many that it could be a smoke phenomena that created this strange shape on the clouds. Flying saucer. A group of walking passengers were baffled to spot a mysterious object hovering over the mountains in Colombia in April 2022. The bizarre flying object first appeared as a small dot in the sky, but when they zoomed in, the saucer-shaped craft was much clearer to see. Well, it was impossible to say whether it was real or fake, whether it was from the Earth or from outer space. But that glimpse of a flying saucer was witnessed by several people. The peculiar object, after creating a puzzling situation among the spectators, landed at an unknown location. Before we move any further, like this video, subscribe to our channel, and hit the bell icon so you can keep watching our amazing content. Ghost in plane. In November 2016, a 32-year-old security guard had a face-to-face moment with a creepy shadow at 3 a.m. Just after finishing his night shift, he was about to leave when he felt some mysterious noise coming from the plane. While inspecting, he put on his flashlight to investigate what sounded like a door slamming. After finding nothing strange, just when he returned back, he heard something behind him. And when he shined his torch down the aisle, he saw a shadowy figure peering around the corner at him. At first, he wasn't sure and stepped forward, but when the supernatural figure moved back and forth, he freaked out and ran back for his life. Breathing forest. At a first glance, you will feel like the ground is lifting up at the roots and pushing the tree apart, but you'll be stunned to know that the ground is breathing. It's not an unusual phenomenon, but it actually happens as forests, just like all living organisms, also breathe. To film a breathing forest, though, is rare. The breathing illusion comes from the movement of the roots beneath the tree. As the trees sway, the torque almost uproots the tree. This phenomena is most common in trees with root systems shaped like discs. Despite its plausible explanation, it looks like nature is, in fact, alive. Earthquake. A passenger bus in Moxie-town was stuck on the road when China was jolted by a massive 6.8 magnitude earthquake in September 2022. A monitor lens captured the moment when the vehicle suddenly stopped and filmed the scariest time of the day. Shaking roads, wobbling cars, swithering trees, and rubble from the buildings can be seen falling. Just as the trembler slowed down, a man ran out of the debris dust in order to escape a horrible end. These few seconds of such a powerful tremor not only affected the infrastructure of the country, but also ended more than 40 lives. Teleporting lady. A video posted in October 2016 not only hit the internet, but will also make you reverse this clip again and again until you understand what exactly happened. An eye-rubbing moment was filmed on a highway when a large truck weaved and suddenly a strange man wearing a lab coat appeared out of the truck and soberly walked away. Take a look again. I don't know what to say here, but how did this guy manage to emerge out of nowhere? Is it just a camera trick? Or is the man actually a time traveler? Well, whoever the man was, he should be thankful to the truck driver whose quick reflexes managed to avoid a heavy bang. Shockwave from Beirut. In August 2020, an explosion originating at Beirut port in Lebanon sent shockwaves through the capital. A jet skier in the nearby river was recording some moments of the heavy smoke emitting from the burning port, without having any idea how to face a horrific explosion in the future. Just when he decided to capture a glimpse, a drastic blast turned him upside down. The jet skier ducked underneath the water to avoid any injury from the shockwave and was able to escape from any further effects of the blast on his jet ski. However, those within the capital suffered detrimental damage. Ship in storm. In March 2019, some heart-stopping moments were captured at the sea when hurricane-force winds and waves rocked a Norwegian cruise line ship. Just hours after leaving New York City, an extreme gust of wind reached a top speed of around 115 miles per hour and hit the massive ship that not only quaked the vessel, but also the furniture began to topple over the glass windows while glasses, cups, and plates shattered. The scary waves reached several meters in height, leaving the 4,500 passengers baffled, who were seeing the cabins flooding in Titanic-like scenes. However, after spending more than 10 terrifying hours on the ship, all passengers, some with minor injuries, were sent back to their city. Glowing blue dome. 30,000 feet over the Atlantic Ocean, a girl was surprised to see an unknown glowing object in the sky while she was flying from Florida to Pennsylvania in December 2012. The glowing blue dome emerged from the clouds, and when the plane moved, it stayed still. It was believed to be even bigger than a billboard and almost shaped like a triangular UFO. As soon as the video hit the internet, netizens freaked out by calling it an invasion from outer space. While experts debunk the theory by explaining that it was just a giant ball wrapped in 250,000 LED lights that sits atop the Revel Casino in Atlantic City. Burning plane engine. Traveling through the air while sitting beside the window and reading a good book is fun. Until you see this. In February 2021, more than 200 passengers flying to Honolulu were sure that they would not survive when a dramatic yet frightening incident happened. Just after the flight took off, the Boeing jet experienced a catastrophic engine failure and burst into flames, scattering debris over a residential area. A passenger filmed the right engine on fire with a missing casing. Stuck in midair with an uncovered engine in flames. The worst nightmare of any passenger. But kudos to the brave pilots who didn't lose their cool and made an emergency landing at Denver International Airport safely. Smoke in cabin. In August 2019, nearly 200 passengers were made to evacuate from a flight, as they have never been through anything like that before. The people freaked out as the plane they were on from London to Spain caught fire, and the whole cabin was filled with horrific smoke. The passengers were trapped inside the thick, scary fumes with a metallic odor and were unable to breathe. A crew member tried to communicate with the pilot, but nothing was working. Eventually, they managed to open the emergency exit and send the passengers down the chutes after the flight landed at Valencia. The fire engines were waiting there, and all the passengers were shifted to the airport safely. Boy in engine. People often take risks to travel abroad, but what do you guys think of this 14-year-old boy whose dream of flying abroad took him to the next level? A desperate Nigerian kid hid himself inside the engine of a plane that was about to leave for Europe, without knowing that his action actually posed a danger, not just to himself, but to the passengers as well. Well, thanks to the police, who quickly managed to detect and capture the boy who was ready to fly with a backpack containing his belongings. Jetpack person. Multiple pilots have reported seeing jetpack men flying at higher altitudes, with no visual proof at all. Yet this time, a pilot on an instructional flight in December 2020 noticed an unidentified object while flying at 3,000 feet near Los Angeles. At first, he thought it could be a drone or some sort of balloon, but when it appeared to resemble a man, he decided to get him on his camera before it disappeared from view. This rare-sighted object was assumed to be a jetpack man, whose appearances have caused disruptions to air traffic in one of the most congested airspaces on Earth. The local authorities had announced an investigation into the sighting of the jetpack man. However, this is the first time that the elusive aeronaut was caught on camera. Snake in plane. The passengers were left in a slithering surprise when a snake joined them by hanging above their seats. A large green reptile was discovered behind an overhead locker and shocked the people when it fell down into the cabin. However, the reptile was quickly captured and the flight landed at its destination soon after. Lightning strikes an airplane. While flying in stormy weather, there's nothing to be scared of until this happens. Whoa! Now that is terrifying. A flight was about to land at the Paris airport when suddenly a bolt from the blue lightning struck the plane's wing. This was somewhat alarming to passengers on board, as they were shaken badly, but the plane sustained absolutely no damage and landed safely. The incident was captured memorably by a passenger who posted this short clip on the internet in 2016. Mysterious object. Spotting a bizarre object in the sky isn't scary that much. The real game begins when that object starts moving. A video posted in March 2018 puzzled the UFO experts who are still trying to explain to curious netizens about this odd object. A passenger flying over the Aegean Sea filmed a mysterious flying thing alongside the aircraft. It could be seen performing several maneuvers that were impossible for any regular aircraft to pull off. A balloon or an alien spacecraft. The passenger herself was unable to explain about that peculiar body. Can any of you identify this? Turbulence terror. Plane flights are supposed to be calm and relaxing. Wait, did I just say calm? It's every flyer's worst nightmare. Violent turbulence that could end disastrously. In December 2014, hundreds of passengers on an American Airlines flight from South Korea to Dallas experienced terrifying air turbulence. An intense weather storm caused the jet to dip and jerk and send items flying around the cabin. The flight was diverted to Tokyo after the ferocity injured 14 passengers. Plane crack. Passengers traveling on an American airline flight heading from San Francisco to Dallas heard some popping noises soon after the plane took off. One after another, people in midair noticed several of the cabin's wall panels cracked loose after an air duct failure. The captain decided to turn back to San Francisco and made an emergency landing there. Fortunately, no injury was reported. However, passengers were frightened as it was alarming for them to see any piece of an aircraft breaking while they were inside. Ghost passengers. A couple of years ago, a Bangkok Airways pilot was left stunned when he noticed a number of passengers streaming off a jet bridge late at night. Apparently, nothing was creepy until he realized that the jet bridge wasn't connected to any passenger terminal, and there was no plane in sight they could be getting off of. So, where did those people come from who were trying hard to catch the flight, as they were in a hurry to reach their destination? Were these ghost passengers who actually came from flights that crashed in the past? Or were they just spirits from another dimension? I've got no answers to this spooky mystery. Landing on river. The passengers of an Airbus A320 had a miraculous escape from a horrible end just after the captain took an instant decision. In January 2009, a U.S. airline carrying more than 150 passengers was heading to North Carolina when, just after 2 minutes of flight, the jet flew into a flock of geese. Both engines were severely damaged, followed by a complete loss of thrust. After repeated attempts failed to start the engine, the pilot decided to make an emergency landing on the Hudson River. Passengers and crew then exited the plane via forward slide and walked onto the wings to reach the local ferries, which were on the scene within minutes. Fortunately, no fatalities were recorded, and only a few people were injured. Falcons on plane. Who could love his birds more than this guy, who took things to the next level for his avian flying companions? In February 2017, a Saudi prince purchased individual passports and seats for each of his 80 falcons. Blindfolded birds fitted with a leg ring and seated down securely with a few scattered humans. Looks really dramatic. The passengers were shocked when they boarded their flight and discovered the entire section of the plane was occupied by the falcons. However, after the footage went viral, many netizens criticized the prince for his insane act. A real UFO? Well, that's the million-dollar question, isn't it? There have been plenty of stories of UFO sightings and alien abductions over the years. This picture posted on the internet shows clear evidence of a UFO. In January 2021, an air passenger claimed to see a UFO while he was traveling through a national airline. Netizens claimed it to be an illustration. But on the same day, some pilots in Pakistan also reported an unidentified object in the sky and called it a Foo Fighter. This caused panic in the aviation industry, and it was suspected that the object could be a drone. While those who filmed that mysterious object were sure about the rare UFO sighting, authorities are still trying to figure out the origin of that unknown object. Lady on a plane wing. It is absolutely okay to go out to breathe in fresh air whenever you feel hot inside. But this passenger of UIA shocked the crew members and other people on the flight when she opened the emergency exit of the plane and climbed out onto the wing to cool down just after the landing. After complaining of being too hot, she just decided to enjoy some fresh air from Turkey and went out onto the wing. Well, her desire for fresh air cost her a lot, as she was banned from flying with UIA in the future, with a high financial penalty. Space Shuttle launch. When NASA's Space Shuttle Discovery blasted off on its final spaceflight in February 2011, thousands turned out to watch the historic launch. Meanwhile, some of the passengers flying from Florida got a chance to capture an aerial view of the shuttle launch with their phones while looking through the window. Seeing a shuttle soaring into orbit from a height more than 30,000 feet was really amazing. A bright orange line in the distance heading up towards the clouds. a breathtaking moment. As the rocket continued towards space, a loud sound of thrust, followed by a long tail of smoke, could be seen clearly. Thank you very much for watching the video. Do like it and share it with your friends. Subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon to not miss any of the upcoming amazing videos. Thank you once again.